Are you ready to push your limits, to shatter expectations and redefine what is possible? Welcome to the Victory Multisport podcast, the show that fuels your passion and ignites your drive. Whether you're a seasoned triathlete, a weekend warrior, or a beginner dreaming of crossing that finish line, we're here to equip you with the knowledge, inspiration, and community that you need to achieve your endurance goals. We'll celebrate individual wins and great accomplishments, no matter the size, speed, or publicity. Get ready to be inspired by stories of incredible athletes, learn from expert coaches, and discover the mindset that transforms ordinary individuals into being uncommon. This isn't just a podcast. It's your training partner, your cheerleader, and your coach to ultimate victory. So lace up, clip in, and dive right in. It's time to unleash your potential. It's time for the Victory Multisport podcast. Welcome to the Victory Multisport podcast. This is Coach Sarge, and I'm with my co-host, Coach Kenny.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well.
You got the America hat on today.
Well, if you know anything about it, we got sponsored by Banquet Beer, and it's for the beer mile at Sipple's house for his pond for the team camp. So
team camp, all
I'm just,
right.
They asked me to wear it on our worldwide podcast here, so got my Banquet hat on.
That definitely is in the making for our team camp coming up. Great plug there. Thanks for that, Kenny. Ryan Sipple, our guest for today's podcast. How you doing, Ryan? Coach?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate everything you guys done for me over the years, and excited to start the new chapter as a coach myself and work through those obstacles. Yeah,
we're going to get into that too. But Ryan Sipple, now coach, Ryan Sipple. And, for the podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about Ryan's background, even all the way back to high school as a wrestler in high school, then his time in the Marine Corps and being a RECON Marine, which is really part of the elite forces of the Marine Corps, both physically, mentally, the science behind going in behind enemy lines and being trained up to do those kinds of things. And then how he transitioned to becoming a family man and, starting a life here back in Pittsburgh at home with his wife and now his son, and got into triathlon, endurance sports, and so forth, and really performed at a very high level to the point where he recently became a certified coach, USA Triathlon certified coach, and using the knowledge that he learned his entire life, really being an athlete and all the coaches and things that he's been involved in, turning that into a side hustle to his fireman business right now. And
booming hustle.
Yeah, but coming alongside Victory, we really call it Full Send Fitness, powered by Victory, because we're here to help Ryan on the business side, on the logistics side, let him be the coach he is and the best he possibly can be for his athletes. And that's
hey, I much appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. Really so that's where we're going to end, but we're going to rewind right now and go back to those high school days and tell us a little bit about how your dad was a wrestler. He got you into it. He probably taught you all those moves when you were as little as
So I grew up wrestling. I started in second grade wrestling. I wrestled before that, but my first official year was second grade, and my dad was a Penn State wrestler, so he had me on the mats as early as I can remember. We played other sports too, but I actually truly enjoyed wrestling at a young age. It was to win the biggest trophy, so that was the cool thing as a kid. But then you get more and more motivated by the sport itself. For all the listeners that don't know, Western Pennsylvania is one of the tougher areas, if not the toughest area in the country to wrestle in. It makes like most All-Americans, college and stuff that go on, Olympians. We've had incredible wrestlers come out of Western Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania as a whole. So very competitive. My whole life it was very, very competitive. You go out of state and you're a Pennsylvania wrestler, you see somebody out of bracket, North Carolina, you'd be like, oh, thank God, I got somebody that's not Pennsylvania. Not always the case. There's tough wrestlers from everywhere, but Pennsylvania was a very, very competitive state. And so you got that whole lifetime of growing up being very competitive. Always thought I'd wrestle in college, and I never had any interest in the military. I honestly couldn't even name the branches, like the 4 branches. You asked me a junior year in high school, I probably couldn't have named all 4 or 5 if you want to count the Coast Guard.
Mm-hmm.
But I got recruited. I was recruited at the school, and my senior year, I actually got hurt wrestling. Didn't get hurt ever wrestling up until that point. I dislocated my shoulder, actually out backwards. And
not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
Yeah.
And the schools that were Division I that I thought I was going to get scholarships to, if I placed where I was seated at in the state, I would have got. Like, you come walk on and see how you do kind of thing. I lost the scholarships that I thought I deserved and earned. A little bit upset. And also, I was a little bit burned out with the sport because it's an all-inclusive sport with cutting weight, and it's involved completely. It's your whole life, kind of how Ironman is really. So I met up with a recruiter, and I looked at different jobs. I didn't know really what I wanted to do, and then I heard of the Navy SEALs, so I walked over to the Navy office, and I was like, what's this all about? Like, they sound like the toughest guys. Marine recruiter did his best job. He's like, we got recon, and then if you don't make it, you're still a Marine. So he recruited me back to the Marines. I ended up going down the Marine Corps pipeline to become a recon Marine, contracted. But to become a recon Marine, you have to first qualify for your infantry. So you go through infantry school, and then from infantry school, the people that graduate infantry school that are tough enough to get through that go to recon selection. And now you have infantry Marines coming from the West Coast, which I was at because I was contracted recon, and East Coast, because there's 2 different infantry schools. So about 70 guys coming in to try to become a recon Marine. And I think it was either 2 or 3 people end up finishing being a recon Marine.
From that selection school?
Yes, from the selection school. Yeah. And they really break you in the water. It's really, like, people are like, how'd you swim so well? It's like, you want to ask a Navy SEAL that. It's like, they really hammered you in the water. Really, I mean, truly. Not necessarily like lap swimming per se, more like survival swimming. Like,
just to give a frame up, one of the exercises, they put all 70 guys in the deep end. It's a 15 meter, and you tread water till you're the last person treading.
They do some crazy stuff. They would.
So how long could that last?
They would have us in the pool 4 or 5 hours just hammering people. I mean,
fully clothed?
Yeah,
like not like a swimsuit.
No, with camis. Your camouflage utilities on.
So when you kick, it's like
no boots.
You get that propulsion from the kick, like you're doing like more of a breaststroke kick. But it seems like you kick up like whatever it gives you, and when you go to coil it, it's like sucks you down. So it's like you must have to double kick as hard to stay afloat. And they would have us do stuff like they'd throw rubber rifles at the bottom of the pool, and they'd be like asking people to say what the recon creed is. It's 5 paragraphs. And if you messed up one word and it was not technically spelled right or something, if you messed up anything, and everybody knew that stuff, like memorized, and or you went underwater choking on water or whatnot, they'd be like, oh, Kenny doesn't want to know the recon creed. Everybody touched the bottom of the pool. And you're treading water in camis, your heart rate's already maxed out. It's a 15-foot pool. You get touch the bottom of the pool. Oh, Sarge doesn't want to touch the bottom of the pool. Great. Everybody pick up a rubber rifle from the bottom of the pool. So it's just like chaos. And then they get up, you tread water with a rubber rifle. I was negatively buoyant. My head's underwater.
And that's got to be hard because it's tough. And when I swim, I don't have anything on except the fins, and I'm going like scissors. No, I have my suit on, but I have my fins on, and I'm kicking like scissors, but I'm holding a kickboard above my head. I'm not dressed in camos, fatigues, like tired. Right. I'm doing it for 15 seconds and then carry on. I couldn't imagine. So how long were you holding I'm asking a lot of questions because this is very.
I think no day was the same. It was just some guy on the side of the pool just.
I'm going to make you do
hazing
this.
You. Yeah. Just hazing you. I remember they do like, you'd be treading, they'd be like, all right, beehive. And if anybody touches the bottom of the pool, you're out of the course.
Is beehive your group? Was that what you were called?
All 25 or 30, 40, 50 guys in the pool into like a 10-foot section. And all instructors would be around us. And so there's only enough space for about 5-6 guys to get air. So people were yanking each other underground, and then you get pulled under by somebody. So everybody's just fighting. It's like literally a dog fight in there.
Was there a lot
people go up and ring the bell all the time? You have people walk out of the pool.
So the whole
so if you ring the bell in that situation, you're done.
So we didn't have a bell. That's a Navy SEAL. We actually had a recon big statue, and you had a rope, and they called us ropers. If you're going through recon course, you had this rope because we had either way, you had to carry this rope with you, go around your camis. It'd signify you're in the recon course. You'd see, everybody knew who the ropers were. They were people trying to become recon Marines. And you would actually take that rope if you quit, hung it on the recon.
On the statue.
Yeah. Did you see a lot of that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was basically a daily thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it get tough when people you liked? Was it tough seeing them go?
Yeah, there was a couple kids I was really close with in infantry school that were like, yeah, we're going to become recon Marines together. But for me, I was a wrestler. I was like, there is no way I'm going to quit this. Like, if I get hurt or something, that's one thing, but I'm not going to quit this. And it was crazy to the point I remember at one point we'd be training so many hours. I would train almost more than I was sleeping in a day. We'd be doing, and we'd wake up, and the way that selection process would work, it was 3 to 4, even sometimes 5 hours a day on land. And then we'd eat lunch, and then we'd get on a bus and be 3 to 4 to 5 hours in the pool. And then you'd come back and you'd have a class to like get you prepped, getting you some of the knowledge. And then you'd have to go home sometimes study, and you'd only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. And it was every day until you classed up to the recon course, which is basic reconnaissance course. That was called RIP, Reconnaissance and Doctrine Program. And once you got to the RIP, they would only have so many spots. It was a course of 30-some people. They would have lap movers, which are people that are already in the Marine Corps that have rank. So they would fill up so many spots. Officers. So say there's 10 lap movers, 5 officers, and then corpsmen. So there's 20 spots selected. There's 70 guys fighting for 10 spots in the course. And they would give whoever did the best on the physical test and the written test would get out of RIP. But you could essentially stay there indefinitely if you never class up. So they just like, you either get fitter and better and then you class up, or you quit.
Or you're going to quit.
Yeah.
So the whole idea is that you take the 70 guys, you have 3 to 10 spots for them to move up out of this RIP. Same with BUDS, right? You're in the Navy to become a Navy SEAL. You go to this BUDS, which is basically their indoctrination course.
They have a pre-buds class.
Yeah, if you ring the bell there, that means you quit that course. It doesn't mean you're out of the Navy. It just means you go back to a regular job and be in the Navy. The Marine Corps, same way. If you hang your rope on the statue or you get injured or something else gets you out of that course, you just rehab and then you go back to becoming infantry Marine or whatever your MOS was beforehand, and you didn't make it into the recon.
Yep,
right.
Exactly.
So it's special unit.
If you get injured, though, they will work with you.
You'll get recycled. You get another chance. But my point is it's really about self-editing that group down. Right now, I'm sure the instructors have some grading in there that they could pull somebody if they really weren't cutting it, or they're violating any kind of ethics or any of the rules and they're not following along. So, and then just send you back to the regular Marine Corps, right? So it's not like you're getting out of the Marine Corps, you're getting bounced out of the military. You're just not making this elite grade. Yep. You're not making this elite unit that's going to get specialized training, going to get overly invested in, but from a training and like skill set perspective, you're going to end up going scuba school, you're going to jump school, you're going to do all these different specialized trainings because you're going to get asked to do these very hard jobs if war was actually to break out.
So there's 30 people that don't pull the rope or put the rope up.
Right.
And there's only 5 spots.
Yeah, he said the 20
top 5. The rest go. They have to wait for the next month for the next class to start.
Okay,
they stay indefinitely
and try to fight for that.
So they're staying on the bench.
Yeah.
And that you're okay. So,
but they're still doing those workouts every single day, right?
So I guess it is honestly like an Ironman, right? So if you finish it, you may not hit Kona.
Some of my buddies spent a year in RIP. Some of my friends. I was like, you guys are insane. They just got the heck pummeled out of them, and they finally made it. And it's like,
okay.
They changed it now. I'm pretty sure now it's a little bit less insane because I was like right when combat was going. I'm pretty sure now I don't know how everything changes in the military. It's nothing's ever the same. I'm pretty sure now it's like an actual course that you have to graduate to get into it. So it's a little bit more well thought out now.
The point being is there's still going to be this basically thrashing you until you either quit or you make it. Essentially it.
Okay, so war breaks out today. Mm-hmm. What does a RECON Marine do? Help me understand that. Is that
so a RECON Marine. So we had 2 mission sets on our deployments. We called them black side and then green side. And usually for the most case scenarios, black side is like the SWAT team, like kick down the doors, fast roping, throwing,
jump out of helicopters.
Coming down. And the green side is more like your sniper, your reconnaissance patrols where you're going out in the woods and you're getting intel and sending it back.
And you're behind enemy lines.
Sometimes.
Well, that's actually the very, like in the war in Afghanistan, the RECON Marines were the very first ones. And there's actually, so Jeremy Toonman actually, he used to work at Raw CrossFit. And I used to work out with him before I got in the Marine Corps, trying to get in shape and stuff. And
played for the Steelers, right?
Yeah. He actually has a buddy that was a RECON Marine, and he was in Afghanistan, and he took a picture of, like, he was in enemy lines, behind it, and then America's soldiers were coming. He had a picture of all the tanks and all the all the whole artillery, all the army, everything coming in, the Vandalier.
Good Lord!
Just a picture of it all coming over because he was the first one in there. But yeah, so essentially that's what it is. So it's a SOC unit, not a soft unit. So the difference, SOC is Special Operations Capable. So we're still under the Marine Corps as far as our job, where a soft unit is like the Navy SEALs. Mm-hmm. They're directly under a Special Operations Training Command. Like the Navy SEALs don't get funding from the Navy. They get it from SOCOM, Special Operations Training Command, or Special Operations Command, where we would get our funding. So we didn't have quite as nice of stuff, but we went through the same curriculum. Our dive curriculum was the same. Our jump curriculum was the same. They had a little bit more streamlined, a little bit nicer gear, but same, different. So we were rivals. Like everything we did was we butt heads, with them. Anything we'd do, is like who could one up each other. And I say we got the best one most of the
time. Well, so it's funny because now I understand, because it's funny because watching you just qualify for Worlds at High Rocks, watching you
1 second.
Yes, but watching you qualify for Worlds at Placid, I've had the honor of being there to see it happen. Like you hear people. So Carly's boyfriend was his first name? Mark. Okay, so Mark, I heard Mark say, "Oh, Sip's got this. He's RECON." I've heard you say he's RECON, and understanding what that truly is. Yeah. Like I can see whenever Leek and I were standing on Mirror Lake and we're trying to tell you, "Hey, you're this position. Empty your tank. You wanted this. Now it's here. Go." Like you didn't bat an eyelash. You went. That mental toughness.
I was in such a dark place, but dude, seeing you guys out on that course, you and Leek, man, that made that race. I don't know if Leek knows this or you know this or ever. My gratitude. I was as dark a place as you could get at that deep in the race, and seeing you guys was like. That was like the highlight of my race, man. I was so happy.
Nice.
You guys see, you're running with me. I was so destroyed. I was like, everything I had in my tank. For me, I'm a pretty good runner. Like, I had everything I could do 7:30 pace, and I was like digging deep. You guys are running next to me. Come on! I'm like, I wish I could have passed the baton to you guys.
I said
energy you guys had.
I said to somebody, I said to somebody that night after we knew he qualified, I actually ran with Ryan for the first time in my life because he was 139 miles deep, and he still was passing me. I literally was
keeping it up.
I'm like, Ryan, here's your placing. This is what you need to do. Oh yeah, I was out of breath, man. That was the best. But no, that recon background. That in wrestling, because I've seen wrestlers like E used to wrestle, and that sport combat, it's mental, it's a Game of Thrones. Like you're positioning yourself, to get after.
I mean, there's definitely an endurance aspect to that, but really the strength piece, right? The weightlifting that you did in high school, the weightlifting you did in the Marine Corps, and certainly all the training that you did to get through RIP and then into the recon program, it just set you up. Like, you're carved out of wood still today because, your lifestyle really fits that ability, because as a firefighter you have to be ready to climb those stairs with those hoses and get that gear up there to fight that fire. So you're serving your community by being in good shape, right? That's part of your job, right? Which is outstanding, and you've carried that through really your whole life at this point. So we're very appreciative of the service that you've given the country, the service you've given the city of Pittsburgh right now.
Thanks,
so,
appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate your service too, my man.
Oh, sure. I was, Semper Fi, brother. Hell yeah.
Well, yeah. What's funny, because I think early on talking to Ryan one time, I think I gave you like a yellow tri-suit or something, a yellow Victory shirt. And he said to me, he goes, that's what we did at NA when I was going for gold medals. I told them, I don't want the black kit. I want the gold kit because I'm going for gold.
That was a tradition we had. It wasn't me. I
give you the credit.
You played into it though, right?
Oh, I always play into it with Kenny,
And like he told me he created it. So now the truth is all coming out.
Yeah, no, we had these just normal singlets, and then to motivate people, if you got to the finals, you got to wear, it was an all gold singlet versus our normal singlet. Instead of NA, kind of like almost like the New York Yankees symbol. It was just a simple gold singlet, and it was like the cool thing to wear the gold singlet.
Hell yeah.
I was like, if you're going to give me nothing but gold, I got to take the gold, right? And actually, my first time I wore that gold, I ran a 50K. First time I wore anything Victory for a race, I ran a 50K.
Oh, you definitely did.
And I won it.
Oh, yeah. We have your picture on top of the rocks in West Virginia, wasn't there? Something like that?
That's pretty funny. I took off. I was like, I'm in really good shape right now. I was put a really big training block that year for 70.3 Worlds. I did a sub, like almost a 9:30 in Chattanooga. So I was really fit. And I was like, it was that winter. Brian came in. Me and Brian Leak were coming into Victory together. We were real motivated. He hurt his foot. He came down to watch me, though. So it was awesome having him there. And I remember I take off, and I'm running super hard right off the gate. I'm like, I'm winning this thing. And mile 1, I'm fine. Mile 2, I'm like, where are the markers for these trails? And so second mile in, I ran a mile in the wrong direction. So I had to run a mile back. And now this wasn't a super competitive ultra. There was probably maybe 50 people there. But either way, but to me, I want to win stuff. I come back, and now I'm at what would have been at mile 2, but I have now ran an additional mile out, an additional mile back. So now I'm at mile 3, and I'm really at mile 1. Mm-hmm. And now everybody in the race, every single
49 people ahead of you
is ahead of me.
Can you imagine what's going on in his head right now?
I'm flying by people, and they're like, where the heck did you come from?
I was late. I slept in.
Yeah, I had to go to the bathroom.
I was in the Porta-John when the gun went off.
Well, see, that is to me one of the funniest things, because, okay, how many of your finisher pictures are you like really happy with? None, right?
None. I'm looking down.
There's one of me, it looks like in Ironman Maryland. My eyes are rolled back in my head. I swear. And it was right before the finish.
Yeah.
Every freaking finish picture of Ryan's is like GQ. Yeah. Like you could put it on the cover of Time. Yeah. Like the one in Boston, like the first time I'm watching him run Boston, all of a sudden I get a picture. He's got the Victory, the black and gold tank top. He's got the Nike headband, the swoosh.
Nike headband.
The swoosh is like perfectly to the angle. Like his hair looked good. He's got one hand up in the air.
Oh yeah.
I would have tripped and fell on the thing that he was on. Like it's like,
so he's got his ultra picture. We got that. We got his USAT Nationals picture. That's incredible. We have all his pictures from Nice, France. Those are fantastic. I don't know
his high rocks.
The high rocks are
perfect.
Perfect.
It's a photo shoot. I need to get Bleak back out and working out for those photo shoots. He would love it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, everything is like
he's all over it.
Prime time. Me, it's like I look at here. We got 50 pictures of you. Good, because where's the 51st? Because all 50 of them are in the worst position. Like the time like that you're riding up that hill and a gust of wind got in your jacket. Yeah. It looked like you were 400 pounds. Like that's the picture you took of me, Iron Man. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
For him is like, hey Ryan, make sure you get this angle. Put your hand up now. Smile. They don't like. I swear, everything is good.
This is a side note, just from funny, like how you can recognize and see people and stuff. And it's just a side story. It's real quick. But I rolled up to Lake Placid this year, and that was probably our last year. That was probably my A race. The race I did the best, and I had not a great race in Kona, but my best race was definitely Placid. And it was just, I was like really energized, really worked hard for it. And I rolled up to the beach, and I didn't even text anybody. I was just doing my shakeout run, and I'm sitting on the beach, and I'm with somebody. I see somebody, and I point in the water. I'm like, "That's Kenny. I know his swim stroke." And some girl just next to me starts cracking up. She's like, you guys are such losers. You try.
It was me.
And he pops out. Like, there's hundreds. I don't know if you guys know Lake Placid. I mean, you guys do. Lake Placid is like, there's a hub, and it's like thousands of people before that race.
That's right.
Swimming, biking, running.
I
pointed Kenny out. Like, yep, there he is.
And everybody was like, "You're Kenny, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Why? What do you mean?" I'm swimming.
What do I do?
Again, somebody took a picture of me. I look terrible. But yet there he is on the beach.
Him.
He's laying sideways with a bottle of wine, looking good. Zane's sitting there.
Flexing.
Yeah, Emily's like brushing his big hair. Everything looks good. Like getting his headband ready. And then there's me come disheveled. And he's like, "Okay, there's Kenny." And I'm like, "What happened? What's going on?
Why does everybody know me now?"
I pointed at you like you were probably 100 yards out.
Oh,
so everybody on the beach was cracking up. Then he comes out.
Well, the worst part about it,
looking at me.
The worst part about it, Ryan, no one knew where Sarge was at because we had that big fight at our house that day.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy.
I had to roll up. I was about to be in my wetsuit, and I get a call. "Hey, there's another family that says they rented the same house as you." I'm like, "I'm on my way." I came up there like on fire.
Oh my God.
We stood our ground though. We didn't let them in.
Yeah,
the
you
house.
guys kept the house.
We kept the house. All right.
It was insane.
Poor family though. They came up for Ironman. The host had double booked the freaking house on Airbnb or VBRO, and it was a mess for them. But
they brought a tray of pasta or
Greg likes
lasagna.
to say, "You versus you," until it's you versus them. I'm joking.
And we worked with them best we could. We helped them keep their food from
I
spoiling.
think Chris Graham had some lasagna out of it.
Probably did, but it's all good. So I missed that part, but it's we all have our jobs to do and keep the team running. So
oh my God, that was one heck of a day though. Like I know that I've done that course 5 times, right? And I know how difficult it is, but that course plays so much to like your strength of the hills.
Except for those running. I'm not a very good hill runner, and man, I don't know. I guess they changed the course a little bit this time, but
they did.
Those hills
took you to the golf course.
Yeah, you ran. It felt like it was like, I don't know, it was at least a 5K, just straight uphill the whole time.
Oh yeah,
It was like it was a brutal run course. Actually, that's the funny thing is that was my best marathon. I ran a 3:15 marathon, and that was by far the worst running course for me. Kona, I didn't play into the heat properly. I didn't train for it. You only have so much money as an amateur athlete to go out to those courses. In theory, you really want to be out there a couple months to get acclimated, but do what you can do.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, so
absolutely. All right, so we went really, really fast through all of that history. Let's unwind a couple pieces of that, right? So, first and foremost is when was the first recollection, or when do you remember first being in a weight room? Right? You said you started wrestling at 2. I doubt they had you in a weight room at 2.
I feel like dude sleeps with 225 on his chest.
But still, like you think like junior high.
But the thing, so first lifting per se was definitely pull-ups. I remember my dad. So there was a guy named Jake Herbert, and for people that don't know who Jake Herbert is, he was an incredible wrestler. He went to the Olympics. He was on the Olympic team. He took second at the Worlds. So the Worlds is every year. The Olympics is obviously every 4. So it's a little bit more prestigious to go to the Olympics. But he took a silver medalist. He was 2-time NCAA champion at Northwestern, North Allegheny grad. With wrestling, though, you have the Pee-wee wrestling, middle school and high school. They kind of all overlap, especially camps and stuff. And the Pee-wees would have the wrestling room directly after the high school practice. So you'd see the high school wrestlers, and Jake Herbert would always be after practice banging out pull-ups. And he was this big guy. He had his wide back. He was always known for being strong. My dad said, if you want to be strong and you want to be a wrestler, you got to do pull-ups. I got really good at pull-ups, not so much wrestling. No, I was good at wrestling, not Jake Herbert, but I got really good at pull-ups doing that, and that was the thing. It was always do pull-ups after wrestling practice. It was pull-ups, and then I remember being in middle school, and I got introduced to weightlifting in gym class, and I went home, and I remember I had 20-pound dumbbells, and I would just do every workout I could think of with dumbbells during wrestling, because when you get stronger, it definitely would help you out in wrestling. And it'd be like just in the basement of my house, just lifting weights with these 20-pound. I remember hounding my dad to get 35-pound dumbbells, then 50s.
Yeah.
So we had little dumbbells, and we just kind of lifted. I lifted my house, and then once I got into high school, I went and actually started training. My family friend, the Browns, they had a gym back in the day. It used to be where Jurgles is now.
Oh yeah.
It used to be a powerhouse gym and stuff. I lifted with them in late middle school into high school, and then in the Marine Corps is really where I got into lifting. Like especially after the selection process. We'd be deployed, and we had a dry erase board, and the only thing anybody cared about was your squat, your bench, and your deadlift. Old school powerlifting. Your name was there in dry erase, and it was like everybody was just, that's what we cared about, man. We loved it. We were overseas, and I remember we used to say it was the bigger, the badder, and generally harder to kill.
Generally harder to kill. Generally, absolutely.
What did you max on the bench? Did you go 3,865?
I was at one point. I benched well into the fours. I was like 425 at one point. I was very competitive, and so
because at that time, what was your body weight though? Were you near 200 or were you on like 180?
No, I was like 210 when I was benching that. But
he's almost doubling his weight, which is insane.
I think about heaviest. I like to say I was 220, but that was like the heaviest I ever weighed on a scale. I remember it was me and my buddy. We went and got Chinese, and we ate as much food as we possibly could, and we stepped on a scale. I think it was like 216, but I was truly like a 210. And then if I didn't eat that time of the week, I was like 205.
Sarge, when was the last time you went to McDonald's or went to Chinese and just got as much food and ate it to get on the scale?
We were powerlifters. We were built different.
I stay away from the scale nowadays. I run from it.
Yeah, you don't even want to see it.
I don't want to know.
Funny story. So
I'll have it to keep its opinion to itself. Okay,
right.
I don't want to.
It's like when Garmin tells you how unproductive you are. Yeah, thanks a lot, bub. Yeah, who did this to me?
So in the military, for me, I actually had a hard time gaining weight. And the funny thing is, like,
me too.
if I got into endurance sports early on, I think it'd have been a way better transition for me if I would never done that. Because now I put all this size on it, it doesn't necessarily come off. That's a side topic, but I remember I was like always trying to break that 200 for the longest time in the military, and I stepped on the scale. I was like, and I was doing everything to gain weight. I mean, everything. We're talking 3-4 more years than I've done endurance sports and lifting every day of the week. Really, really, really disciplined with it. And I stepped on the scale. I was like 197, maybe 198. And the guy that's in charge of me, the team leader, looks at me. He goes, "Sipple, go chug water until you weigh 200 pounds."
Oh wow! Heck yeah!
Because I wanted to break. He knew I wanted to break 200. And I remember I was like sick. I was like, oh. He's like, "Come on!" I stepped on the scale. I was like 200.1. He's like, "You did it!" And then ever since then, I didn't
threw
have
up. Carried all that.
Stayed to Porta John in the hot sun for the next 3 days.
Heart rate was real up.
Blow all that out.
But yeah, it was just a funny side story. But yeah, then we got into that lifting, and then this is a side topic, but yeah, once you put on that size, it's really tough. It doesn't come off necessarily. So people are like, "Oh, it's funny because I have two sides of this now. I have a group of people that are still heavy into lifting, and now my endurance people. I go to these races. The endurance people are like, "Sip, wow, you keep all that muscle on your yoked," and then all my buddies that are at the gym are like, "Oh, you're looking tiny.
You're looking small. Yeah,
skinny."
What's that thing on your shoulders? The good one and the bad voice.
Yeah.
Like you got him becoming
the devil and the angel.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Well, it is funny because, so we know we're lifting, but you're, like you've said it, you're one heck of a runner. And it's always funny when you hear like those when you think of the big pro runners, they're like 110, 120, 5'11 or 6'3, 6'4. Their legs are so long. And then there comes you coming in at a 230 in Boston and you're holding the muscles on you. So it's crazy how strong of a runner you are with the build you have. It's insane.
If you actually look at the top runners, a lot of people have that misconception that runners are really tall, but they're just really lean. Like that LA Kipchoge, I want to say he's like 5'10". Like they're not necessarily super tall. They're just really, like you said, they're really lean. And it's like all a stretch reflex. I honestly think that if I didn't do those years of lifting and I got into triathlon earlier, everybody says that, right? But I think I could have been a lot better of an athlete. I found it later in life. Endurance. So when I got out of the military, I was doing all the lifting in the military, but we always had to do the endurance piece. We always had to do it, and it was more forced. And I didn't think I liked it because it was forced on us. Like we did this RPAT every year. It was a recon. We had our physical fitness test through the standard Marine Corps, like the PFT, the 3 mile.
That's right.
We had
combat readiness. Yep.
We had to do an RPAT, which was you have to do 500 meters in your camis. You're not allowed to freestyle. You basically there's this combat side stroke you could do or a breaststroke. And I think you had to do 500, I want to say under 10 minutes or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was
about right.
It was fast for swimming freestyle and in camis. And then you had to come out and you had to run 2 miles under 14 minutes, or maybe it was 15 minutes in camis and boots. So like we had everybody do like specialized running boots. So then it just continues on. You do 2 minutes of push-ups. You'd have to do so many, 2 minutes of sit-ups, so many dead hang pull-ups. And then after you do all that, you put your pack on, a 50-pound pack. Any kind of water that you wanted to carry did not count as weight. So if you wanted, there's no aids, 12 miles. And you're talking sometimes Okinawa, crazy humid, talking
Camp Pendleton, hills.
Crazy hills. Lejeune, it's either way, anywhere you
Lejeune,
go.
hot, mosquitoes.
Super, so there's no way out on it, it being easy. And you're going to need to carry probably 2 camelbacks, 12 pounds of water, and then you have a rubber rifle. So you add all that together, or 80, 90 pounds, and you had to run 12, you had to do under 3 hours. So you could hike pretty hard and get 3 hours, but even hiking with that much weight is a lot. But everybody get more competitive for getting closer to 2 hours. People are running like 10-minute miles with all that on. And like you step on a rock, you roll your ankle, it's a military. Like get up and keep running kind of thing. Like
take care. Yeah.
So then you get done with that, drop all your weight. Then they take your pack, right? If it doesn't weigh 50 pounds, Like, it's on you. They will check it though at the end. If it doesn't weigh 50 pounds, you have to come back tomorrow and do it. So everybody made sure their pack weighed, and everybody's pack was like a little heavy always because of it. And then you get off and you'd have to do the obstacle course twice.
That's right.
So that was the RPAT. So you had to stay in that physical fit. So you had to be pretty fit every year. They check you. Plus your team leaders were in charge of keeping you fit. So we all lifted, but that was because we liked that. And I thought, and a lot of people would just complain about the endurance piece because we were forced to do it. So I didn't realize that I liked it that much. And then when I got out of the military, I went to school for a little bit. I found myself taking the fire academy, got in the fire department. And then I felt like I was missing something. I felt like I was missing that endurance piece. And then I started falling in love with running and stuff. But my first endurance event, I actually signed up for it on a whim. I was still into lifting. I wasn't really doing any endurance. I mean, I was doing maybe a run or something. Nothing really, anything significant. They had a really bad storm come through. And my fire captain was like, hey, man, we need help cleaning up these trails. They're about to do the Rachel Carson. And he's like, I know you live up north. Like, you give me a hand. I was like, yeah, sure. And I was a younger guy. I was probably like 200 pounds or so, pretty strong. And there's older people. I helped clear the trail. They're loving me because they're not all these power tools. I'm hand sawing, throwing stuff off the trail. They're loving me. And I'm talking to the race director, and I didn't realize it was the race director. And I was like, hey, it'd be cool to do this one year, the Rachel Carson. And then after he done cleaning up, he's like, do you want to actually do it? I was like, yeah, I mean, I'd like to do it. And he's just like, but I still didn't know what I was talking to. Oh, I can send you a registration link. I was like, oh, you can do that. I thought you had to sign up for this like 6 months ago. He's like, well, I'm the director. So I was like, oh, cool.
Get you in.
So me and my fire captain did it together, and we were going to hike it. And the different fire came in. He was like, I've done it 3 times because it switched directions. I did it both ways. And then one year I hiked it. Significantly worse when I hiked it because you're on your feet the longest. And I was like, so I walked the first like 6 miles of first aid station. I was like, and I was like stuck behind people on the hills. So I started running. I ran the whole thing. 20 after I got the first aid station, we ran it pretty hard. We started running down people, passing people, and I get to the finish line. I think I feel pretty good. I sit down. I get up. I like legit can't walk. Like legit. Like I'm literally like inch by inch. This is the Saturday before my wedding. My wife's like, "Are you gonna be able to walk down the aisle?" I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not too sure of this. Well, let's just be.
So Ryan, you're fantastic at this athletic thing, but this life organization thing, maybe you need a little help.
Well, let's stop here for a second. Rachel Carson is 34 miles or 36 miles. So my first endurance race wasn't a 5K or a 1K.
It was a 6K hike or a 6 mile hike with a 30-mile run.
So basically, that's coming from something.
Basically, an ultra marathon is what he did on a whim a week before he's getting married.
The day before.
Go ahead.
That hooked me though. That hooked me. That event, I was like, there's something here. This is the hardest thing I've ever. I was RECON Marine. That day might have been one of the hardest days of my life. You guys can laugh about it, but it was about as dumb as you can think it possibly was. Like I was in a bad way. I don't think I walked normal until Thursday before so that was Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. Thursday or Friday was when I started being able to walk.
Oh man.
Like I was messed up, like mangled. And my other buddy in the fire.
But something was burning in your mind, and like, I need to do that again.
Yeah. So that's really. It was like that. I didn't know what was missing. You know, there's something missing in your life. And if some people it's religion, some people it's God, some people it's different things. And that piece of the RECON, I was doing that. And I thought I didn't like it that much. But then when I was under my own free will, I realized, you
found it again.
This. Yeah.
Sure.
And it's something about it, man. And I preach it to everybody. I was on a podcast with the Marine RECON Foundation. And it's so good for your headspace. People deal with all these different types of different mental disorders and, depression and stuff. And it's crazy what moving your body can do for your mind space. And it's huge. And like, especially being ex-military and having buddies that are dealing with it, like I preach it. And I've had a couple of friends actually in the military come up to me and be like, hey, what's that all about and stuff. And it's even helping them out because not only does it help you out in just that instance right there, it starts a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. It becomes, you might get obsessed, but obsession with fitness is better than obsession with alcohol or booze or the club or whatever drug it might be. So I think it's just a good way to push a healthy lifestyle, especially with people that have that addictive, like I need something kind of personality. It really scratches that scratch, So I fell in love with it after that Rachel Carson. So
it is funny you say that because, endurance, I think we've said it multiple times, has broken me and many of us in the best way. And when you look at like the house I grew up in, my dad was addicted to gambling. My mom was, when she passed away, 45 years sober, she was in AA. I mean, I remember my mom coming home and the Christmas tree's on the floor and my mom's inside of it because she just was drunk and knocked it over, separated my parents and I'll be proud of the fact that like one day, say I'll be like, you know what? He could have made so many other decisions, but if the bad decision he chooses to make
just running and swimming
on Saturday, get up at 4:30 when she wants to sleep in and I wake her up because I'm going to swim. Like it's different. I'm not like spending money frivolously. I'm not going drinking. I'm not making those,
Yeah, you try to buy new pairs of shoes too often, but
right. Like, let me check the treads. No, let me check the treads.
But no,
I did get a new pair.
I'm kidding about that. But yeah, absolutely, Kenny. Not to make fun of your statement there about your family. All of us, I think, if we really look at the crew, look at the team, you look at the people that are attracted to Victory, there's something about that is attracted to them to work on themselves, whether that's to keep them to fixate on something else as addictive, like exercise and physical training and endurance sports, versus some of the other vices that are out there, like you mentioned, Ryan.
And even if you don't get into it that deep, it doesn't necessarily have to be that deep. Like just going for a workout, like
not even 30 minutes a day, hour a day,
anything.
Yeah.
And people overcomplicate fitness.
Yep.
Like a lot of people, it's such a simple thing. And if I get it, if you want to be more prioritized to race or event fitness, you should definitely train for an event if you want the best results. But fitness in general, it's just movement is medicine, and how much you can do with that. Like, especially some of these clients, I was working at Shape Fitness and they come up to you and they're really not in great health. And it's like, if you just move your body like 30 minutes, even if it's, and for some people, it might be just going for a walk around your neighborhood, but it is so therapeutical to move your body. And it almost can take care of a lot of these drugs, these antidepressants and stuff. It's like you're trying antidepressants, but you're not, have you tried a 5-mile run? Okay. Your ankle's bad. You can't run. Have you tried to go on a bike ride? 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Like it doesn't have to be, I'm a person that takes it all to the next level. I like the full send. That's just who I am. When I go for something, I go for it. I make decisions irrationally, and then when I make a decision, I'm like, oh, I want to do this. I just go for it. That's who I am. You don't have to be that way to get benefits from fitness. You don't have to be as crazy as me. So that's why when I'm around the Victory people, I've dealt with my own demons and stuff, and around people are like, oh, why are you so nice? It's like, just because who I am doesn't mean you can't be who you are. Just because I'm benefiting from this at an extreme level doesn't mean you can't benefit from this from a lower level. So I just think if you can help somebody out, like being a fireman, when you help somebody out like that, there's nothing that feels more rewarding than that. Even winning a race or anything, helping somebody. And that's why I'm really excited to get into the coaching piece, because it's so rewarding. I remember my athletes today was like, oh, Sipple, I'm catching you. I'm like, I'm going to give it everything I got. I hope you catch me, man. I hope you pass me up. I hope you become faster than me. But I'm not going
to make it easy on you.
I ain't going to lay down, bro.
Not going to make it easy on you.
By the end of this, you might hang the rope by the end of this run. But
that's amazing, though. Go ahead.
Yeah. So like when you're coming out of lifting, and now, you said something I think couldn't have been more beautifully said. You used the term free will, right? So you choose this path. Like you were never told, Ryan, you're going to be an Ironman. You have to do this. You're forcing it. You choose the free will of what you choose to do. And there's a lot of great things in there. Like if I get it on my mind, I'm doing it. And everything I've seen in the 5 years I've known you is, if I get any type of inch of a thought in my mind, I need this or I want to do it, you find a way. You make it happen. You make it with M. You make it with Zane to make sure he's there. I mean, he gets to watch you do the coolest dang things. And right now, he doesn't know, but you're setting examples up. And I want to go to Kona. Okay. Well, you're going to have to run the hardest run ever. You do it. I want to go to Nice. You did it. I want to go to High Rocks Worlds. You do it. And that's just the way you are. But that, to your point, the person who's stuck in life, they don't have to Kona right now. Just go move, because that may be down the road a year from now. But right now, just go move and feel better about yourself.
Yeah, everybody's Kona is going to be different, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that before on some other podcasts, right? It could be anything from that first 5K to, finishing a half marathon to the first Olympic distance triathlon and actually swimming in a lake for the very first race. So nobody has to, put that out as the ultimate, unless that's a long-term plan to work yourself into it. So, but take all the small wins along with it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really take that to heart, what you said there about the small wins, especially with my younger athletes that are coming to the sport. Like, it'd be cool to be an Ironman one day, but it's like, just take it one step at a time.
That's right.
And Matty Moe, he actually used to say it the best, fall in love with the process, because that's really what you're doing. Race day is only one day. The process is your day to day.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't love the process of these training for these events, and you fall in love with the events, then it might not be for you. Ironman is not for everybody, but there's plenty of different events and stuff that you can find yourself that you will definitely enjoy. And it's crazy because running, I never liked running. I really did not like running growing up. But now I love it. And those events, like even your local 5K is a blast. And it's no matter who you take, even people that are like, you would never think running is their thing. You take them to a 5K and they always have a blast. They always have a smile on their face. They always have a good time after or 10K, whatever.
Absolutely.
It's cool. And to elaborate on that a little bit is, like, I was running with 4 guys today.
Yeah.
they all were trying to like, they all have that goal of breaking 3-hour marathons and stuff. And I truly believe all three of those guys are plenty fit enough, but it's like that idea of unlocking that, like, am I willing to go to that dark place? Am I willing to push that hard? Do I have the confidence in myself to do that? Mm-hmm. And people battle that a lot. It's like a lot of people have more than what they think they have to give on an open, like any given day. People have more than they're willing to show for, if that makes sense. I know it's kind of like going down a rabbit hole, but it's the confidence and learning that confidence. Like for me, I don't know if I ever had any business running when I ran my first 3-hour marathon, I didn't really train I just was like, I'm freaking doing it or I'm going to die. And when people start like getting that mindset a little bit, they can do a lot more than they think. Like their bodies and their capabilities is a lot higher than what they think. Even the people that haven't ran for the first time, they get involved in it. They can go a lot farther than they think.
Sure.
If that's what they want. If that's
absolutely.
It's funny because you're running with a nice group too. I mean, you had Doc, so Bill, you have Drizzy, and then you had the Jet. And the funny thing is, I think you said it, is we were just running. It's going to be an easy run, and everybody PR'd their 13:1. So I think that goes back to that iron sharpens iron.
That's right.
Like I've said to Billy, Doc several times, like we need to get you with the runners that will get you, because he's talented.
Sure.
But now he's coming, and there's a price to pay for that sub 3-hour or sub 4-hour Boston qualifier. There's a price that you pay. But now if you're coming knowing, hey, there's those 4 coming there, Ryan's going to take me to the woodshed, but man, I'm getting close to him.
Yeah. But if you ask them, I bet you could go reach out to all of them. And they might be at the end, it was a tough workout. We did a tough hill repeat or something. But for the most part, we were all talking and having a good time. Maybe it was just me. I can't speak for them. But for the most part, it seemed like we had fun with it. We were running hard, but we weren't like, at no point, like at some points, probably people felt like we were, this can be tough. But for the most part, we were all talking. We stopped a couple of times to take off layers. Like everybody was like in good spirits. And at the end of the day, we were all having a great time. It was never at any point where someone was like, I just want to quit. I want to give up. You're pushing me too hard. No, it was not like that ever. And the funny thing is we were all talking and bullshit. And every single one was like, oh, look at this. I PR'd my half marathon.
That's right. It's insane. That's how it happened.
Always that way. Always.
And they didn't even realize until we were like mile 11. They're like, oh, if I run these last 2 miles hard, this is going to be a PR. And they it didn't even dawn on them. We didn't start out hot. We started out kind of slow. We started picking up the speed. Like it didn't dawn on them that they were going for a PR, which is a daunting task. And we had a fun time with it. And that's cool when you see those people really dig into that. Like it's there.
Oh yeah,
because that group is accomplished, right? JJ, the Jet, he was in the Marines as well, infantry Marine. So he's well trained. He's super fit right now.
JJ just started though. He started running.
I know
he wasn't doing any running until I got with him 2 months ago. So yeah, he's flying, but I think the first week I programmed him, I had him under 10 miles. The first 4 weeks, he's like, you're burying me. So I slowed it down. I think he was like at 10, 9 miles. Now he's handling like 25, 30. I think he might even be at 40 miles this week. And he's crushing it.
Dude, he's excelling.
Crushing it.
When he came too, because I was on that call, and it was, I think we need to program him for more lifting and get him into shape. But Ryan, see, that's the thing, believes in those guys.
Yeah.
And he said, he's going to be a dog. You just watch. He was a better athlete than me growing up in certain components. And that kid, man, every run, his first run, I think, was like sub 6:30.
Yeah.
For 4 miles.
Dude, he said the cool thing about that is, because I've been programming like more of a hybrid base for him, is he not only got faster at running, he's also gained 10 pounds of muscle. He's weighing 10 pounds heavier.
But the funny thing again,
that's not normal. I mean, that's crazy. So he's literally coming from square one.
Do you have him on the scale for 200? Are you making him drink gallons of water? No, but I think the thing that's so awesome with JJ is JJ's a man of faith. He's being fulfilled in so many ways that was, to your point, his free will. Didn't know how much he missed that old JJ. That old JJ's coming back, and he's winning, man. Stacking doubles.
Absolutely.
I'm super, super excited to watch him in the Pittsburgh half.
Yeah.
That's his first real event, and he's going to hammer it.
Oh, yeah. That's great. All those guys. So JJ, Driz, Doc, they're all killers, right? They're all killers out there, whether they're, trying to increase their PRs or just break through a glass ceiling here or there. But, Doc's going at Glass City. He's going soon to try to PR and BQ in what is that? Toledo, right? In Glass City. And Driz has just been killing trail runs and ultras and just all these different things. So it's been ongoing.
Those guys. Yeah. I ran with him twice, Doc. And he's a hammer, man. We finished the last 2 miles strong together. I think we did our last mile was like a 6:11, and then we ran into the parking lot a little bit slower, but like he's coming.
Yeah, like a 6:12.
Yeah.
I think slow it down.
Crush a 3-hour marathon.
6:14.
Slow it down.
Yeah, that's a simple thing. Hey, that last one was 6:11. Let's slow this down. 6:12.
Yeah,
that's that 1 second.
1 second.
So Ryan, tell me, okay, when you look at your life accolades. So like you've won an ultra, you've probably won several ultras. You've been to Boston. You've run a sub 230 there. You've
not that fast.
237, right?
239. I'll take the 237.
Okay, but still, I mean, that's insane.
You ran an extra couple steps here and there. You got lost.
I mean, if you think of our buddy Tyler Butterfield, Ty did a 227 in Bermuda.
Yeah.
I mean, you're literally 12 minutes away from that, you know? And so now so we've been to Boston, hammered it. We're going back to Boston. We've hit Kona. We've hit Nice. You've danced on the biggest stage. You've age group won. Every race you come in, you're taking podium. What is the most proudest moment as an athlete that when you look back on your storied career that you'll tell Zane it was that day?
So I didn't like how my results were, but my time was great, and there was a lot of competition there. But Placid, only because this is a kind of a cool story. I'll try to run through this pretty quick. Getting to Kona was like when I got into Ironman. I did my first 70.3. I didn't know if I really wanted to do it. Then once I turned that switch, I like these. I'm gonna do an Ironman. It was always to qualify for Kona.
What was your first 70.3?
It was up in Maine.
Maine, okay,
yeah.
And then
I
you
qualified for. I took actually my very first triathlon. Now I was in incredible shape. I was doing a lot of. Actually, I was not really biking that much. I was doing a lot of trail running, very slow. And I got with a buddy that was really into ultra, and he's like, "You need to run slow." So I logged I had the fast switch from all the CrossFit that I was doing at the time. So like in the Fire Academy, we did a lot of CrossFit and like a lot of that more hit. I guess not really CrossFit, but more high intensity stuff. Wrestling was always high intensity. So all I did was very very low very long slow volume. And then when I came race day, I actually crushed it. I did a 4:28 up there, my first half Ironman, and I qualified for the World Championships in St. George. Yeah, St. George.
St. George, yep.
And then, so that was a month of me actually trail running. And then 2 months, a month later, I was like, all right, I'm going to do a full Ironman. I remember getting in the water. I was like, I'm going to just try to break 12 hours. Like, that'd be cool. Get 12 hours. Let's take this easy. Like, I don't have the endurance. I can go fast for 70.3, but a full Ironman is a lot different. You're essentially on a full Ironman. You're on the bike longer than you are the entire time of a 70.3. So unless you do all the work, a full Ironman is a significantly bigger task to handle. And I remember getting in the water, and I was next to a kid. He's telling me his time. He's like, I've only done a 70.3. He's like, I'm trying to qualify for the World Championships. And I was like, wait, so what's your halftime? I told my half. He's like, well, why don't you go for it? I was like, all right, you know what? Why not? He's like, at the end of the day, you're an Ironman, or you're going to Kona. I was like, because it was before Nice back then.
Just like that Marine recruiter. At the end of the day, you're either recon or you're just a Marine, right? You'll still be a Marine. Right?
I swam great. I biked great. And then I died on the run. There was this girl on the bike. I passed it, coming out of the swim a little bit slower as not a swimmer. I'm passing it, hundreds of people on the bike at first. And then I kind of get out there and then I'm passing everybody. I'm not getting past it all on the bike. And this girl the size of my wife, which is like 100 pounds probably, was flying by me on the bike, like mile 30. I'm like, absolutely not. I hammer past her. Mile 80, she appears again, comes by me again. Absolutely not. Go past her. We're 100 plus miles in. I'm like, I'm about to finish the bike, and especially your first Ironman, such a feeling of accomplishment. Like, I finished 112 miles.
Yeah.
And I remember
get me off this thing is what I usually say.
But I remember getting off in the 70.3 and feeling great on the run. I was like, I got off, my legs kind of felt pumped up from the bike, and I was like, I hope I feel good. Not this time. This girl she passes me like 108. I pass her again. I get to the finish line, and as I'm unclipping, like I'm cramping up, she's unclipping the same time as me, and I'm like, I am in hell.
I'm in big trouble.
And she runs like all gingerly, puts her bike off. I think my marathon split was like a 5:20. I think my bike split was like a 5:06. They were very similar. My bike and run split were basically the same. I was in the worst way that marathon. I remember seeing a mailbox. I'm like, I'm gonna jog to that mailbox 100 yards to like take 2 steps. Like, all right, next minute. I would be like old man shuffling and it was max pain for that whole marathon. But like the psychopath I am, I was like, now I need to qualify for Kona, and that became like a life goal. I got a coach, started taking it more serious. And this is a little bit more personal, but I didn't make it. So I was like, I went up and I put in Sharpie, which for anybody that doesn't know, you can use alcohol and wipe right off. It's not a big deal. But I will qualify for Kona in Sharpie marker in the corner of my mirror. My wife was pregnant the first time around. We had a miscarriage. My wife writes up on the other side of the mirror, I will have a healthy pregnancy. And so she beat me to it. Mm-hmm. She had Zane, and that was still up there. I will qualify for Kona. And I was kind of in the mix. Like, I put a lot of time in the sport. I don't know. Everybody battles that out. I kind of want to stay with the sport. I kind of want to get away from the sport kind of thing. I was like, I got to get there. So I qualified in Placid with my son.
Yep.
Which makes me cry a little bit. And then taking them out to Kona was just, that was incredible, man. It was like, that's all I wanted for a long time. So, and in the process, I qualified for an elite team, Everyman Jack. I qualified for my pro card in triathlon. I didn't even ever think about those things. It was just I was so target fixated on that. I need to get to Kona. I want to take my family there. I want to take my son there. So yeah.
And
That's incredible.
He did everything along the way too. Like, right. I mean, everything you could have done. And that's kind of the cool thing, as soon as High Rocks is done, 1 hour, whatever it was, 101, 59 minutes, whatever it was. But
1 hour and 43 seconds.
Yeah.
40 seconds.
If it was 43, I would have made worlds by 2 seconons. But fifth place was 41 seconds.
But as soon as he comes across the line, he's looking for his boy, and Zane's on his shoulders. You're going to see another Ironman.
Got the medal pick with Zane in your arms.
Yeah. Sure. And so like you're leading by example. You're setting that tone of things are different in this house. Like we're going to set our goals and we're going to go about them and we're going to live a life, man. And being able to go to Nice, M's in Nice, Zane's in Nice, Kona, M and Zane, the Ironman places you're going, the spots you're taking, all through endurance, that free will of making a decision that, man, maybe I do like that.
So that's originally a really big reason I left for the military, actually, is I was so tired of Pennsylvania. After high school, I was like, I want to travel. And I was like, this is the fastest way to see the world, being in the military. So it was a huge reason I signed up for the military. And then I came home and I was like, I really want to get back to Pittsburgh, get that fear of missing out. You're not around your friends, the young 20s, they're all partying and stuff. You want to come home, you want to get back home. And then I got back home, and also I wanted was the military to get back home. So I get back home, and I'm like, for a year or two, I enjoyed it. And now I'm like, in the Marine Corps, Sergeant knows every 2 or 3 years they make you move. And I'm like 2 or 3 years back home. I'm like, all right, it's time to move. And that's right around the time I got into the triathlon. I really, really do like the fact that triathlon has taken me so many cool places. And the cool thing about triathlon is you get to do a triathlon, especially a full distance Ironman in Nice was incredible. Kona was great, but Nice, man, biking that bike course was so awesome. And for anybody that's like a Kona, like elitist, I only do Kona, and you haven't been to Nice yet, you're missing out, because Nice was incredible. Kona is incredible. Every place, Placid is beautiful. I can go live up in the Adirondacks. It's these courses. St. George, it's incredible. And it gets you to see the world, which you might just let those years pass you by and not do any of that travel without triathlon. So I do really like that about triathlon.
Yeah, you're living, man.
It's pretty awesome. That's incredible. And your accomplishments in that, and now even High Rocks, if you go to Chicago and compete in the Worlds in High Rocks, that's going to be phenomenal later this year. And it's just incredible to be able to be with you on the journey and be alongside you, help you out where we can. And I know that we want to get to, before we end this podcast, a little bit more about your, why you're in the coaching. And, Full Send Fitness was stood up a couple of months ago, really. And you're already like killing it with, a great, cadre of athletes that have already come along for your specific planning and programming, powered by Victory, helping you out on the business side and making sure that everything's tight, just to allow you that freedom to be able to be the best coach possible. So let's talk about, how you're dealing with those athletes. You're bringing them on pretty rapidly, but in a good way. What's your process there? How do you see that?
So like you guys also had to deal with this. You start a business, you want to find a name that really suits you. And I played around with a bunch of names with my name in it and Sipple and stuff. And somebody said Full Send Fitness. He's like, that's how you train. And I was like, and it's kind of a cliche term, I guess, but it does. And then it does fit like everything I've ever done in life. It was just, I pick a direction. Like I wanted to go to Kona. I got a coach and I went all in. And then I got with you guys and you guys coached me and you helped me. I went all in. I full send it. I want to go to the Boston Marathon. I trained so hard for the Boston Marathon. I went from a 2:58 marathon to a 2:40 marathon. Like that doesn't usually happen. I went all in on it. And it's just when I do something, I like to go full send. So first off, you have to think about the name. Then it all worked out very well. The symbol is red, white, and blue. The military, the FSF. So it was pretty cool. And then, like always, you guys helped me so much from whenever I got into triathlon to get into Kona. You guys made that, like without you guys in my corner to Nice, you guys helped me out there. You guys really made these goals, like made it possible. And not only gave me the support, you helped me multiple different ways to get there. Brought on coaches that you guys were like, well, at this point, he's above me. We need new coach. Like you did that. You did everything, went up and above beyond. So I was like, I need a partner with you guys. And I'm glad I did, because my athletes will now have a bank of other athletes, the peer group to work with, camps, and everything else you guys offer, the discounts and different sponsors.
Sure.
And then my athletes is, I just truly want to see the best for them, With my family, I thought I wanted the pro triathlon life. I decided against it. I really like the high rocks. I'm really involved in the high rocks right now. I really want to go try, see if I take it serious. I did the one in DC, and I kind of was like half into it. Now I kind of want to go all out for the world championship.
Yeah, the one in DC. You did it back to back, right? You did single male on Saturday, and then you went back and won
with Carly
on the mixed doubles the very next day. So
Carly,
that's not just not kind of half doing it, right? That's like full send.
Put a full send stamp on like I did for Kona or for Placid.
Yeah, I understand.
Really just give my soul to it.
I understand. I'm just giving you props, bro. I
appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I knew, I think, again, partly, Scott has always been, in Ryan's ears.
That's right.
I may be in Ryan's ears as maybe a big brother, a family member to him, like helping him. It's just like you are, and
sure.
I've always said to him, man, when you're ready, but you have to be ready, because he had that marker in the mirror that said Kona, and it wasn't the time. But I knew, man, I would watch him in really long swims, stopping Trevin, who was struggling, and pulling him aside and saying, bro, like, let's do this. And every time at having swimmers, hey, you need to get Jeff Anderchak here to his pond, because Jeff was struggling and Jeff became an Ironman. Like, Ryan will throw buoys in that pond for anybody that wants to come in. And he's always been, and it's interesting to me because, as a top performer in my job, I always get, oh, he's unapproachable. You can't even talk to him because he's so focused. He's goal oriented. He's going to hit board, like all of that stuff. And meanwhile, I'm like, why won't anybody call me? I just want to bust jobs with somebody. I want to talk to anybody.
Or you'll help anybody.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, when you look at Ryan, people think at times, oh man, he's like unapproachable. He's all business. He's this, he's that. Ryan's the most approachable dude of anybody. And I get the joy now of watching his athletes that he's now guiding. Man, oh man. And in a 4-week span, 5-week span, these guys are killing it. And his pack, I call him the wolf pack, man. That's his group.
Yeah. So that point, I thought I wanted that pro triathlon life, and it's just a lot of time, so much time. And the best I could do at this point in my life is mid-pack pro, and it's not really what I want in my life anymore. And I made that realization, and I've always liked helping people out, i.e. city firemen, military, serving our country. So now that's where I was getting at. I really wanted to start the coaching side, and that's really where I want to put a lot of my effort in versus putting effort into myself. I think I've done I think I basically maxed out my fitness. I could really make a whole life about it and maybe do a little bit better, but I put a lot of effort into these events. I want to be a good family. So I want to basically be more balanced in my life. And with coaching, it kind of brings me back. I can slow down. The high rocks takes less hours to train for. And now I can bring these athletes on. I've acquired a ton of knowledge from putting this much effort into this sport, talking with the best heads in the sport, people that are professionals in the sport and very competitive, what they're doing, looking at their training plan, what their hours are like, what their volumes are like, and then going back to the lifting side of things, what lifts worked for me, around a lot of CrossFitters at work, very competitive CrossFitters. And I like to take all the pieces together, and it doesn't necessarily have to be triathlete. Like, I like to train people in anything that they like to do. My athletes, I like really to have them to be organically goal oriented so that they can go full send on their fitness, or whenever they have something, I can very much easier give them a training plan. Like, hey, this is going to make you specifically fit for this event, where I'm not really trying to know business to and teach their own. I'm just trying to get somebody fit. Now, I will do that if it's someone I love or someone I take care of. But my goal is to work with people that are not necessarily overly driven, but just driven. They have a goal. Even if that goal is I want to finish I want to finish a half marathon, but they want to finish, like they want to do something. It doesn't need to be. It needs to be a big goal. When I say big goal to the individual, I want this goal to excite you so much so that you're motivated to show up and train. And then I can work with those kind of people all day, and I love it because when you see someone succeed, especially in their goal that they had, and they really make it like about them, their being, they put themselves into it, and then you see them succeed. There's nothing more rewarding than that.
Nothing. Oh, absolutely.
Nothing.
100%. 100%.
That's really where I want to go with my coaching business. I really want athletes to, and the bigger the goal, the better. Whatever it's, and then watch them evolve and make relationships with these people, make running events, bring people out to the tracks on Tuesday mornings at 5 a.m. or Sundays at 8 a.m. Whatever it is. I like to work with people now, and I think
you've been offering that for quite a while, and just like Kenny said, like we knew this was coming. We've been watching this movie, this book kind of being written, and it was just time to turn the page and move on to the new chapter. And you've done a great job, and we're glad to be able to help you do that in a lot of different ways, and just get you organized as a business, and also just set you up for success with your athletes and have them onboarded into a community that's going to support them. And then you writing their plans and putting out that coaching and touching base with them, and all of that's just fantastic. And they're already showing, like JJ's already showing it. The other athletes that we've seen so far at some of the other events are definitely showing positive results.
Chris is going to be
100%.
Excited to watch him at the Pittsburgh Marathon. all those people. Carly, my partner, actually, I picked her up at the High Rocks. Now she is a workhorse too. She's dealing with some injuries, but she'll be back on it soon.
Your boy Dill, dude. Dill's going to be in Boston, and he's going to go to Ironman thereafter, right?
He wants to try to qualify for Kona. He did one Ironman actually already down in Florida, but he wants to do the whole take it serious. But I'll tell you what, he's in incredible run shape right now, and he might be a sub 240 runner in Boston as well. He's absolutely put in the work, and I'm really excited to bring him over to triathlon.
That's great.
He's gonna be a hammer.
Well, I love it too, because like Ryan meets you right where you are too. So like I've seen him on Sunday runs with his athletes. I was mad. Like there was like a Thursday at like 4:30 in the morning. Somehow I missed the invite for a track workout with him and Dill. They had tarps off. Dylan had a tarp off. You had like every winter jacket. On. Oh yeah,
I was cold.
Oh yeah,
Kona ruined me.
Oh yeah, I look at it. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna post it on our story. But where was my invite?
So you know who another guy that is that we didn't touch base on, but he's been working really hard. Well, It was awesome. Alex he's a professional dirt biker. When he starts to turn that corner, he's going to be a hammer. But I really want to mention Kyle Lamb.
Oh yeah, Lamb.
Yeah.
Dude, he has been working. I've been putting him through a ringer, man, and his fitness is incredible. His jump, I cannot wait for Ohio. I can't wait for Moraine. His bike. He's like a $150, and his bike splits are stronger than I might have ever biked. Been making work really hard on the bike, but he has some talent there.
Oh yeah.
He's dealing with some motivational issues right now, but if he can just get to a start line at a race.
That'll light the fire
it away, man.
Yeah, and that'll light the fire again for him.
Yeah, I mean he's always had that engine, and honestly, I mean his coach was doing really well with him, and then all of a sudden when he saw that you were coming in, he literally is like, well, he's wired just like me. He was a Marine. He plays this way. I want to be that. I want to be in that guy's corner, and it's gonna. You'll see it. It's gonna be like a grenade exploding when he gets on the scene and he's ready to roll.
Absolutely a cannon, absolute cannon.
Yeah, I mean,
stuff.
It couldn't be better. Easy. I like that when his athletes will do something. They're like, "Look at my run." I'd be like, "That's just a full send run." Like,
it's too easy to throw it in there.
Oh
sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love it.
I do it all the time. They're like, "Hey, can you send this guy something?" Yeah, full send. Absolutely.
It's fun. It's fun touching base with those guys. But it's also fun the Victory family where you get everybody. And how I started the Kenny doesn't run rumor, and Val ran with it, and everybody in Victory. And Kenny will never hear the end of it.
That's right. It'll never go away. Ever go away.
Ever. But, you know, it is funny because like I have been recently because I'm doing the Pittsburgh half, but it's now like today was normally a run day, but I'm up to 25,000 yards in swim already. And because of that, I need Sunday to catapult and it's hard, man, because Friday was run. Saturday was $7,000 of speed. Today was $4,000, and then I got to swim again tomorrow to set up the week and still get my runs in. But yeah, I mean, I love chasing it. I love that free will to make the decisions of I want this and I know what's going to be at stake. And believe me, man, like I think you were one when I came out of the water in Key West, you were one of the first people I called, and that was Rye. I did this, because
130 pace,
because that's the Sipple Pond boys. If you can get into the Sip Pond this summer, it's going to be more active.
It makes sense and stuff.
We got to get full send banners on your dad's wall.
We should. We use some step and repeat out there. So
oh yeah, get in our. We're gonna get on our Roca multi-suit swimsuits.
Oh yeah, man, we'll show them up.
Oh yeah,
it'll be awesome.
Well, Sip, thanks for coming on the podcast and sharing your story and talking about how all the things that have culminated now into you becoming a coach and starting your own side hustle to your firefighting. You're doing fantastic work. You are certainly an accomplished athlete, and it's just great to hear how you've translated all that into helping more and more people through, now through coaching and through this mentoring that you're giving everybody. So thank you for that.
Hey, thank you for having me on. Thank you for everything you guys done and continue to do. Really, really, truly do appreciate you guys and love you guys like family.
Well, we're full sending this year, man.
Yeah, we're full sending it. So that's great. Thanks for being on. Everybody that's listening, please like and share on your favorite podcast medium. We're out there. And you've been listening to the Victory Multisport podcast. We'll talk to everybody very soon.